and we can rock and roll. Let me stop that. Alones for days. Okay, cool. So, again, welcome to the Generational Wealth Mindset Call. We do this call every single Tuesday night. We've been doing this call since last June. We took a break for the first, 2 months of this year. And so now we're back rocking and rolling to make sure everybody is growing. Yeah, I didn't try it around. Okay, so tonight I want to talk about courage. I want to talk about how to make fear pretty much absent, how to water it down. Okay. So a lot of times people don't realize that everyone is pretty much afraid, right? Everybody has some type of fear inside of them. They're afraid of something. But what is the difference between a brave person and a coward? Hmm? What is the difference between a brave person and a coward? Okay. The difference is discipline. That's the only difference. The brave person decides to have a short amount of discipline, and they confront their fears. They confront everything. It doesn't mean that fear doesn't exist. It just means that they decided, listen, I'm going to be bigger than this problem. I'm going to be bigger than this challenge. I'm going to be bigger than what I feel, because people don't even realize you're afraid. The fear is nothing but a feeling. It's not even something tangible. It creates these, it creates, a heart throb. It creates sweat, but that's just what you're thinking inside your mind, that you're developing your body to just react a certain way. But at the end of the day, you're telling something that you can't even grab, that you can't even, put a grip on to take control of your life, right? So you have to confront it, and you have to deal with it. You have to act in spite of, all right? What does a coward do? They will allow themselves to be dominated and controlled by fear. Dominated and controlled by fear. That means you're not even living your life. You're not even choosing which direction you're going. That's why I was just saying about Leah today. She's like, this is what I want. This is what I want to do. I don't have to think about it. Let's take action. So that's somebody who has a definitive purpose. That's somebody who has made up in their mind without a shadow of a doubt. This is what I want to achieve. So the difference between the hero and the coward is that the hero sticks 5 minutes longer. What's the difference between me making 5 calls and you making 5 calls? I decided not to allow fear to deter me away from my future, from what I deserve, right? And guess what? I hope you guys know that fear can be unlearned. Fear can be unlearned. All fears are learned behavior. Nobody's born with fear. That's what I said before. But guess what? You can unlearn it by practicing what? Self-discipline. You got to repeat your self-discipline every single day with regard to the fear until it disseminates, until it's gone. All right? You have to continue. I don't care if your heart is racing 100,000 miles an hour, if your hands are sweating, if your forehead is sweating, you still need to move forward. You need to go in direction, because everything that you're facing is nothing but a thought. It's nothing but something that you're imagining in your mind. I always tell people, what is the difference between somebody, what's the analogy I always use? I've heard this analogy before. When you're laying at home in your bed, in your peaceful home, there's nobody around bothering you. You got your sound asleep, the candles are lit, the music is playing. You hear the raindrops, and you're relaxing, you're sleeping like a little baby in your bed, knocked out. Some of y'all be snoring and slobbing on the pillows, right? But at the end of the day, you sleeping peacefully in your home. And so you go to sleep and you start dreaming, and then all of a sudden you start having this nightmare. Well, you start having this nightmare. So what happens while you're asleep? You're running in your sleep. You feel like you become a superhero in your dreams, right? You can jump over everything, you can fight everything, but ultimately you're living in your dream with an amount of fear that's just enormous, right? And so you're sweating, your heart is racing, but guess what? You're still laying in your bed in the comfort of your home. So your subconscious mind doesn't know what's scary or not. You are just telling it is. You're just telling it is. So you can train your mind to say, this is not scary. We're not afraid of this. We're going to move forward past this. All right. And the most type of fears that most people experience, and it sabotages every single thing that they want to go for: the success, the financial freedom, the weight loss, the expansion, the communication, the relationships, the financial freedom, the wealth, everything that people are oftentimes looking to obtain is sabotaged by fear. They're sabotaged for fear, and they even fear success. That's right. They fear success. They fear, a lot of people have the fears of failure, poverty, loss of money. And these type of fears cause people to avoid any risk at any time. They reject opportunity. They reject the doors opening. They reject any type of open-mindedness that can propel them into what they want. It's right there in their face. It's literally showing up on their doorstep every single day. But what do? They find excuses. I told you guys earlier today, the first excuse that comes out of somebody's mouth is never the truth. I want y'all to know that. The first excuse, the first reason that comes out of somebody's mouth is never the truth, because they're hiding their truth behind reason, behind excuses. There's many, many layers underneath people's fears, excuses, and reasoning. And you will have to dig deep until you really, really find the core of what it is that's really holding somebody back. And I'm telling you, a lot of people cover up their main excuse with another different color excuse. They just color it up. They water it down with another excuse. All right. They're so afraid of failure that they pretty much become paralyzed when it comes to taking any chances at all. That's where you see a lot of people. They go through their entire lives hoping, wishing, and praying, daydreaming, looking at computers, looking at other people's lifestyles, looking at trips and vacations, looking at all these things that they wish they could have. Why do people live in a state of mind wishing they can have something? This is what kills me about people. How dare so many people walk around, especially the believers, walk around knowing good and well that you can have every single thing that you desire for your life. You can literally have every single thing you want in this life. As a man thinketh his heart, so is he. You tell God the desires of your heart. It's already done. What did David say on the call last night? What did he say, V? Drop it in the chat box. Unmute your line. What did David say? She said in the telegram today.
About dreams and goals?
Yes. What did he say about heaven?
Oh, he said that your dreams are in heaven, and the only way to bring them down to earth is to write them down.
Woo! Your dreams are in heaven. Your dreams are spiritual. And the only way to bring them to life, to bring them in the physical form, is to write them down. Guys, to write them down. Where's my notepad? I have this notepad and I've been carrying. I had to go buy me a little memo. See if you guys can see this. I had to go get me a memo. I said, you know what? The vision is 50 families. This says 50 families. Do y'all know how many names are on this list out of the 50 families? Said 6 names. 6, and I had 6 people to actually tell me. And I'm not saying just tell me. I had 6, matter of fact, it's 7 now. I got to add another person. I had 7 people to tell me what it is that they desire. And not only did they verbalize it, they did the work behind it. Because I'm going to tell you guys, your actions are proof of your belief. Your actions are proof of your belief. You can talk my head off all day. You can celebrate. You can be enthusiastic. You can come up with all these amazing ideas. You can do all these significant things about what it is that you want. I don't give a flying fish about what you're saying until I see discipline, consistency, and I see that your actions believe what you say. Do your actions believe what you say? Can somebody in your circle say, I know without a shadow of doubt that this person is going to get what it is that they're telling me because their actions prove it? Do you know I got people at church calling me a millionaire? They just started with saying, what's up, little millionaire? I was like, whoa, what's up? That's how we see you grinding every day. We see how much you're pouring in. We see what you're doing. Don't forget about us when you get millionaires. And that's another thing when people say, how am I going? I'm not going to get money. Don't change who you are. Money only increases who you don't think you are. Money doesn't change who you are. I want y'all to catch that. Money does not change who you are. Money increases who you don't think you are. Woo-hoo! Money increases who you don't think you are, who you don't even know who you are. So you're just paying to be somebody else. My goodness. Wow. You're just paying to be somebody else. That's all you're doing. Right? But remember, back to fear. Does your actions speak your belief? Okay? Does your actions speak your belief? Some people are so afraid they become paralyzed and it interferes with their happiness. How many people on the line tonight, you've been in positions in your life where you've been scared as all get out, and that fear has hindered you from opportunities. That fear has has kept you out of open doors. That fear has held you back from what God has completed. Remember, as soon as you write it down, it's come to life. God has already completed his part, but what happens? You never show up. You never show up. And the crazy part about it is he's showing up every single day, but you don't. My goodness. He shows up for what you desire every single day because it's still written on that sheet of paper. Until you rip it up, it's still alive. He's showing up every single day. He's been waiting on you for years. But what do? You allow his opposition to control your direction. Anything that's guided by fear, guys, is not of God. It's not of the spiritual form. What does it say? He doesn't possess fear. He's not a God of fear. So when you allow something that is trained behavior, it's almost like you're still getting your butt whooped, whether you're a Jew, whether you were an Indian, whether you were African, no matter what background you came from, you're allowing this mental chain to control your life, to hold you shackled, to hold you back. So how in the world can you call yourself a believer, but your foot is one halfway out the door? How dare you? How can you even say, I am so happy and grateful I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me, but half of your foot on his opposition side is on the doorstep of his opposition? Ain't no halfway in and halfway out. This ain't no cup of coffee. Ain't no half around here. You have to make a decision, guys. So how do you eliminate that? How do you eliminate that? It's interfering with your freaking happiness. It's interfering with your health. It's interfering with your ability to love yourself. It's interfering with your ability to have healthy relationships. It's interfering with your ability to have financial freedom. It's interfering with you to make the decisions to get out of toxic situations, of toxic conversations, of toxic environments. It's holding you back. Again, something that can't even be touched controls 100% of your direction of where you're going. People feel the loss of love. They feel the loss of jobs and financial security. They fear embarrassment. They fear people pointing at them, talking about them. I am so happy and grateful I am delivered from other people who possess fear. Because a lot of y'all walk around here allowing people who have 100% fear inside of them to talk about you. So it's fear talking against fear, guiding fear with one another. It's just dumb leading the dumb, blind leading the blind. Right? I'm sorry, I'm not calling nobody dumb. Blind leading the blind, right? You fear rejection, you fear criticism, you fear all that. You fear loss of respect and all that, right? It's so many different things. But at the end of the day, all of it holds us back. And sometimes we got to just learn to just see it, face it, head on, right? The most common reaction in fear situation is the attitude of I can't. I can't is the most common reaction of fear. You know, I was doing some calls today. I had a young lady. She was like, I can't do it. I didn't even tell her, send her the video yet. She had already made up in her mind. I don't know what this is. It's too new. I don't know what this is. And if I don't understand it, it's just, I'm not going to figure it out. You've already, look, you said, man, that's a fear on a whole nother level. That's fear. That's dominating fear. See, some of us are just allow fear to kind of tip in, tip out and make decisions sometimes. But that's kind of dominating fear, right? That's the fear of the unknown. That's just ignorance and the loss of us and loss that, a lot of that stops us from taking action. All right. Now, you're going to experience it physically. Remember I said your body going to start getting all crazy. You're going to start having dry throat, your heart pounding. You're going to feel sick in your stomach like you got to go to the bathroom, right? Those are all just physical manifestations of what you're telling your mind to do. We're scared body, we're scared mind, we're scared subconscious. This is something we can't do. We speak so much negativity into our lives. It's ridiculous. I said last week, if there was a cup with a cup of water, how much negative oil are you pouring in your cup? Could animals live inside your seed? Woo-hoo! Could animals live inside your seed? How much oil? Dark oil. I ain't talking about no holy oil. I'm talking about dark car oil that make that engine rev. How much of that are you pouring inside of your C? Can animals breathe? Can they live? Can they survive? So if they can't survive in your negative C, how do you think you're going to survive? How you think you're going to survive? Those are just physical manifestations, negative habit patterns, right? And we all experience it. Sometimes we experience an excitement when we're on stage and we're getting ready to do something super exciting. I experience it when I'm like getting ready to do something exciting. My heart pound, my armpit starts sweating. It's just natural. Do you not realize that fear has the exact same results? See, whether you fear making the phone call or whether you are experiencing excitement and fear, they have the same outcome. They both make you feel queasy. They both make you sweat, and they both make you nervous. But a lot of us are choosing the path that gets us nowhere. I want y'all to remember that. Excitement and fear have the exact same physical manifestations. The exact same physical manifestations. When you're excited, your heart is pounding, you're sweating, you're nervous, but you're ready to go. When you're nervous and when you're fearful, you're sweating and your stomach hurts. The same exact physical manifestations. Exact same, right? One is just going to propel you and one is going to keep you held back. All right. Whenever a person is in the grip of fear, he feels like a deer caught in headlights, right? Feeling sick, is you're paralyzed. It's either fight or flight. It's a terrible emotion and it undermines everybody's happiness. So you got to start telling yourself to do the opposite. You got to perpetuate yourself. All right. To develop a quality that you lack, you have to already act as if you possess it. To possess a quality that you lack, you have to act as if you already possess it. Guys, I want y'all to catch something today. We did our first GW Wolf Room today. But guys, for you guys don't know what that is, I basically did on a Zoom. I was on a Zoom call just like this. I was sharing my screen, and I had both of my cell phones. The only difference is I started calling everybody that I've never called for 17 months that I've been a part of IML. See, I don't know if you guys know this, but I didn't give a flying fish about the referral side of network of IML. I didn't care for it because I said, they made $5,000 a month. I can make $5,000 a day. They make $10,000 a month. I can make $10,000 in 3 days. But what started happening through law of attraction, I just started helping people. I started teaching so much. So people started gravitating towards me. So I just started having people come in. It wasn't intentional yet. I would dip and dab. I had one foot in, one foot out. But 2019 is the first year I said I'm going all in for real. And I'm sure that my actions are showing that. Okay. But guess what? I've never made phone calls before. I've never picked up the phone and called people back to back. I've never done that before. But what have I done? I've got on the trainings. I've listened to Eric Worre. What is it? GoPro. Right? I've listened to his book. I've been on every single 7-figure mentorship call. I read the books. I do what they say to do. And they say, listen, PS3, work a list, call people. So I said, what is that? Just call people. I've seen people here every blue moon. I hear somebody show what it looks like. But anyway, I took what they said. You have the 4 types of learn. You have the 4 types of behavior, learning behavior, right? So I took what I was learning and put it into activity. And I just went. So I could have either kept saying, man, I want to know what it looks like. This is something that kept hindering me. Man, I want to know what the Latin community, I want to know what our Latin IML are doing because they be working so much. I know they be blowing through their list. So I said, when I got back from IML or Unleashed, I said, I'm not doing that no more. I'm not going to keep waiting on what it looks like. I'm not going to keep making an excuse. I started realizing that's just an excuse. I can either wait to see perfection or I can create it. Through what? Trial and error, figuring it out, not overthinking. So what did I do? I called 15 people back to back in the time that I had. Guess how many times I was able to share the plan? This is the list right here. Let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 out of 13. 1 of them told me, 2 of them told me no. And 6 I had to leave a voicemail for. It was simple. And that call was recorded. It's in the Telegram group if you guys go back. But anyway, what I'm saying is you cannot allow you cannot allow the unknown or unfamiliarity. You cannot allow, because of the fact you haven't done something, to stop you from taking action. If I was to wait on one of my mentors to know how to trade, I wouldn't be here today. I promise you. Still, I wouldn't be here today. If I was waiting on Taj, Kiana, if I was waiting on y'all to be a 6-figure earner in this company before I started, how long would I be waiting? If I was waiting, if I would say, you know what, hit me up when you start making $500 a day. But your ability and my ability are two different things. Why don't you decide to discover what's inside of you? We are created in his image. So that means I'm able to do anything that I put my mind to. So why in the world am I making the decisions as if I was created in your image? Why am I we're created in his image. I'm not created in your image, Taj. So why am I operating based off what you can do? I can come in here and blow you out the wind. Alithia can come in here and blow everybody out the wind. Alithia is 13 years old. Right? But what am I waiting on? I'm waiting on what it looks like. I'm waiting on somebody to tell me. I'm waiting on somebody to sit with me and hold my hand. I'm waiting. And every single time you wait is a moment of time you don't get back. You cannot recycle time. But we too busy what? Recycling fears. Can't recycle time, but y'all recycle fears all day. You have to make a choice to say, listen, this is unfamiliar. I don't have no training. I don't know what the heck is going on, but I'm all in because I know what I can do all things through Christ that strengthens me. I am determined. I am dedicated. I'm going to be consistent. I am all in. I'm sitting here surrounded by people who are making 7 figures a month, and I'm rubbing elbows with it. I'm talking with them, having conversations. What did they do? They said, B, just be here 5 years from now. Just be here 10 years from now. And you'll be the person in the room when somebody's going to meet you and say, dang, she said she stayed committed for 5 years, for 10 years. If I do the same thing, I can be there. But if I don't stay committed, then nobody can take my seat. Nobody can see that it can happen because what? I quit. And unfortunately, we depend on other people, right? We got to see what other people are doing. So instead of believing everything within them and everything within God that it can happen, we depend on people. And so when we become so dependent on people, it starts what? Becoming that cycle. Well, she quit, I guess it didn't work. Oh, she quit, I guess it didn't work. Oh, he quit, I guess it don't work. But instead of us making a decision to say, I am going to be the person to make it work, we create the cycle of, oh, I guess she did it, he did it, they quit, it didn't work. So stop relying on other people and start making the decision that other people don't exist. You don't exist in my world. You're not going to be the reason I quit. You're not going to be the reason I win. I am going to be the reason I win because I stayed committed. I showed up every single day. Fears can be unlearned, ladies and gentlemen. Fear paralyzes action. Fear can be removed. And when it hits your face, you got to choose to do the opposite. Remember, you have to fake it until you make it. That's where I was going with the phone calls. Guys, I've never called people before, ever. This is my first network marketing company, except for the differences which is education and trading and teaching people how to come here and learn a skill set they don't have to talk to nobody about. But guess what? I didn't allow the unknown to stop me from making a freaking phone call because I believe in the company. I believe in this education. It has done something extraordinary for me, so it can do something extraordinary for you. And we're just scratching the surface. Oh my goodness, I can't imagine myself a year from now reading all these books, getting on all the calls, being coachable and teachable, still listening to David Imonitie, Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar, Earl Nightingale, still listening to these people. Can you imagine yourself 12 months from now being consistent just in that? The way you speak, the way you think, the way you operate, the way you're going to be what? Making sure that oil doesn't kill the animals in your seed. Right? But stop allowing the unknown to stop you from moving and taking action. Our parents tell us every single thing that we're supposed to do. I need you to fire them. That is the conditioned cycle of this world. We grow up being told, when to get up, when to brush our teeth, when to go to bed, when to turn the TV off, when to clean the room, when to go to the school bus, right? We get our first 18 years to 25 years of our life, we're told, at least to 22 from through college. Even if you're supposed to be on your own, you're still calling your parents. So, but when it comes to out here really living a real life, we don't know what to do because we're waiting on somebody to tell us what to do. Start waiting on people to tell you what to do and take action. Take action. If somebody kidnapped your family and they told you got to make 3 calls, if they told you need to study 2 hours a day, are you going to do it? Your life depends on your success, ladies and gentlemen. You get one chance at this, so stop playing around with it. Fear is not real, so cut it out. All right? Do the opposite. You can actually change your behavior by affirming, visualizing, acting as if you already have the quality you desire. So what do I desire? There's a bracelet on my arm that says chairman. I am Marcus Live chairman. That's nothing but like destiny, right? This is done, right? This bracelet was given to me during IML event here in Atlanta that we had in February. The bracelet was placed on my wrist on the white side. There was no words. And then when I flipped it over, it said, IML chairman. What are the odds? I'm walking around telling people, no, I'm a chairman. I'm a chairman. Oh, you a chairman for real? Yes, I'm a chairman for real. My paycheck on the way. I wrote it down. It's coming. It's coming. So it's already done. A lot of y'all are waiting for the physical, the rewards, the titles for before you believe. You're waiting on somebody to come to you before you believe. You waiting on the trading account to say 5, 6, 7 figures before you believe. I have proof of my belief before I even knew what a pip was. I have proof of my belief today. Guys, I am a chairman 50 in 2019. I am a chairman 50 in 2019. That's it. It's done. It's written down. It's on a whiteboard, back of my phone. It's in my car. It's everywhere. I see it every single day. Right? What do you know to be true? And don't say things prematurely. You got to know with 100% that it's going to get done. Blood, sweat, and tears. Stop allowing your excitement and your enthusiasm to just get you all amped up, but you never take action. How about you start being quiet and let your actions speak louder? There's a guy on our other organization, Marquise Carter. Marquise is what, 20 years old? Marquise is what, 30, 40 people away from P5000? And Marquise don't say nothing. He just working. JVL's the same way. JVL's 19 years old. You know what he does? He sits in his room. I've seen him firsthand sit all day and talk in 3 ways. And I mean, I'm pretty much do the same thing, but the boy don't move for hours. When people, he say actions speak louder words, guys, it really makes sense to me now. Do your actions speak for you? How about that? Ain't no need to speak. Does your actions just speak for you? All right. So you have to what? Visualize and act as if it's already done. So what is something that you know to be true? Stop waiting on the physical. What is something that you know right now without a shadow of doubt? Just like you know, I'm gonna brush my teeth. I know I have to put socks on my feet. What is something that you know 100% that's already complete in the spiritual? You've written it down and you're waiting for the physical. Right? I dare somebody right now to make public declaration of a goal. It doesn't have to be trading. It doesn't have to be building. What is a goal that you know is done, even though it hasn't shown in the physical yet? Drop it in the chat box. Public declaration is public belief. It's action. Wow. Aaron said Chairman 25. It's done. Chairman 25. Right? How big is your belief? And until you know what it looks like, how to develop it, how to expand, making sure that you're developing it every single day, you're going to be sitting in the same spot. Today is March 19th, I think. I don't ever know the day. Okay, it's March 19th, it's Tuesday. All right. I would be debt free. I'm a 6-figure earner, I'm a homeowner, I'm debt free. Perfect. And that's it. So they know it to be true. Now the question is, how much time are you going to work towards those goals? How much time are you going to commit to those goals? Remember, I'm standing in a room of people who are making $50,000 a month. I'm standing next to traders who are making $70,000 in 6 days. The traders make more money than anybody. So just doing both is just a double whammy, right? So what is the deadline? What is your quitting probability? I asked that today. What is your quitting probability? Well, I know my trading probability, but what's your quitting probability? You need to know that. I quit what percentage of time do you quit? 2% of the time, 10% of the time. You got a 10% quitting time. I'm kidding, right? I'm making up stuff, right? But you have to act as if it's already done. So I need y'all to fix 2 things. Vestavia and Lee, I need y'all to fix 2 things. I need you to remove the word will out of your sentence. That's not speaking as if it's done. That's still speaking in future tense. I am so happy and grateful now. I am debt free today. I am debt free. God can give you the blessing before you give it a deadline. It's God will give you the blessing before you give it a deadline. I am so happy and grateful now that I've paid off my student loans. And you say that every single day, because some door can open before December 31st and it can be paid off. I am so happy, grateful now that I am debt free. I am so happy and grateful now that we have helped 50 families earn $1,000 a month. I am so happy and grateful now that I am debt free. I am so happy and grateful now that all my student loans are paid off. I am so happy and grateful now that you speak it and you speak it and you speak it with you speak it with affirmation, okay? Affirm it. Don't just say words with nothing behind it. A lot of people walk around say they love each other, but there's no substance behind it. All right? So make sure you speak it with substance and belief and desire. All right? Now, the same way that you guys are operating in your fears. I mean, when you're operating in your fears, I want you guys to start doing this. I want you to identify what those fears are, okay? I want you to identify what they are. I definitely want you to remove the word I can't. I want you to visualize, because you got to practice the law of reversibility, okay? If you feel a certain way and if fear scares you, you need to act in the opposite. That's the same thing as acting as if it's already complete, okay? You kind of just have to psych your mind out. The law of reversibility. So there's a story that goes along about a company, and they have something called the 100 call method. So the 100 call method is basically the salespeople are stuck in a slump. They're trying to get out of these. They want to make calls, but it's just kind of tough. The economy sucks right now, and the formula is just it was placed so everybody can start guaranteeing that they were doing the work. It wasn't about results. It was about the work. Okay, follow me. So they made a method that says the 100 call method. So they said, you know what? We're not going to care what people say. The only goal we want to do is make 100 calls today. We don't care the outcome. We don't care what people say. We don't care how many people cuss us out. We don't care how many people think it's a scam. We don't care about none of that. Our only goal, our target, our aim, our focus is 100 calls. The first person to get to 100 calls gets $10,000. That's it. If everybody on the call, if I gave you $10,000 right now, would you make 100 calls? If I gave you $10,000, would you make 100 calls within 8 hours? Drop a 1 for yes, 2 for no. If I give you $10,000 today, I say, guys, you got 8 hours to make 100 calls. How hard would you try to make sure those calls? Maybe, but it's not. I paid you $10,000, the 100 call method, to make 100 calls in 8 hours. Who's going to call if I give it the prize is 10 bands? All you do is make 100 calls. So let me tell y'all something. Do y'all know the company is going to give you $10,000 a month if you still do that? It ain't got to be 100 calls. But if you said every single day I'm going to do this, it's guaranteed. So why aren't you making calls? The Forex market says, I guarantee you're going to be a 5, 6 figure, 8, 9 figure earner if you do this every single day. So why don't you do it? It's the exact same thing. You know what's the difference? It just requires long-term gratification. You got to earn it. You got to put in the work. You got to put in your time. Right? IML said, B, if you make 5 calls a day, if you just 5 calls, within the next 18 to 24 months, you will be making so much money residually on top of your trading account. And you know how to flip accounts. So you can take that trading, that referral money, and put it in a whole new trading account. Mama, you get a trading account. I'm going to grow this account for you, Mom. Give me 30 days. Sister, I'm going to grow this trading account for you. Give me 30 days. Brother, I'm going to flip. Guys, from sharing the information. So why you sitting there getting excited that I'm going to give you 10 bands for making 100 calls, you can't get excited for a company giving you $500,000 a month for the exact same activity, but you want the money right now. You want the money right now. So you don't remain excited. So what did they do? They made 100 single calls every day. The goal was just to make 100 calls, and whoever won, they got the prize, the daily prize. All right. And the goal, they was really trying to get 10 rejections every single day. Who could get 10 rejected calls every single day? Right? Everyone's rejection will be blown out of their system if they would just face the fear. Rejection, fear, the doubts, all that will really just go out of your system if you would just do the work. If you would just study an hour a day, if you would just place a trade every day, if you would study the harmonic scanner, if you follow the 21 days of growth for 18 months, a minimum, right? How do you do it? How did you figure it out? How does this work? I've literally given you the entire map. But what do you want to do? You want to skip to the end and hope $10,000 show up in your pocket instead of putting in your work. All right? Instead of putting in the work, you want to skip all the way to the end. You got to eliminate the fears. You got to eliminate fear of rejection, call reluctance, whatever it is you want to call it. Fears are bundled together a lot of times in the subconscious mind, just like wires, okay? And you can overcome those fears, but you have to eliminate those fears on the same circuit. So when it comes to like fear of rejection and stuff like that, a lot of those are aligned with public speaking, you know? So if you eliminate public speaking, you eliminate fear of rejection, right? So your life will start changing in a positive way, but you have to start confronting your fears. Deal with it. I'm so happy and grateful. I am fearful, but I'm still going to deal with it. I'm so happy and grateful. I'm scared to place this trade, but I'm still going to deal with it. I'm so happy and grateful that I'm learning something new, but I'm going to deal with it. I'm so happy and grateful. I don't understand trading yet, but I'm going to deal with it. All right? Deal. And one of the best exercises that you can practice to is identify the person or the different situations in your life which you are afraid of and resolve to deal with those with that fear situation immediately, okay? Confront, so you can put the fear behind you, ladies and gentlemen, okay? There's 2 types of courage, okay? Leaders have the quality of vision, and they have the quality, of taking action, okay? The quality of vision and the quality of taking action. Leaders have a clear vision of what they want for themselves, for the organizations, for the companies. They have a clear vision, and sometimes of what the future can look like, and even in their personal lives. Courage, ladies and gentlemen, courage. And they do whatever is necessary to fulfill it. Are you willing to do what's necessary for you to fulfill your vision? Let's take trading out of the picture. Let's take iMarkets Live out of the picture in its entirety. Whatever it is that your personal goals, ladies and gentlemen, are you willing to do what is necessary for you to fulfill your vision? See, a lot of y'all comfortable. Y'all think y'all committed. Y'all not committed. Y'all think y'all committed. Y'all not committed. I'm going to tell you why. Because you will have your schedule. You will have your calendar. You will have your alarms. You will really know what tomorrow looks like. We say we don't know what tomorrow looks like, but you can at least do your best to prepare for it. All right? Every single time somebody wants to talk to me, I say, hold on, let me check my calendar. Because I already know I said something planned out. I'm not going to sit here and try to remember it on my brain. That's what that piece of paper for. But if you was all in, you would have planned your success. See, you would know that Thursday at 10 o'clock that Latoya has a trading training. You would know that if you were planning your success. You would know that there was a mindset call every Tuesday night at 9 o'clock if you were planning your success. And through repetition, a lot of those things just start to resonate. You would know every Friday night at 7 or 8 o'clock that we train on how to properly share this education. You would know every single Sunday from 4 to 6 o'clock that we do a trading training. You would know that you would know that the training is also on our personal website. You would know that there's 2 documents floating around, 3 and free in the 50 families for you to learn how to share this education. You would know that the 21 days of growth exists and you wouldn't skip anything. You would plan strategically, intentionally, and you wouldn't miss anything. But what do? We want it now. We're like little brats and kids. I want it now, I want it now, I want it now. And if we don't get it now, because we were trained with that behavior, we were trained to act that way, to respond that way, then we never truly get what it is that we desire, because we never trust, we never have faith, we never take action. You have to have the courage to go all in without any guarantees of success. You have to have the courage of going all in without any guarantees of success and with a high possibility of failure, at least in the short term. How many band-aids are you going to put on your knees and elbows? How many times are you going to fall and get up and fall and get up and fall? Are you willing to fail 100 times before you get trading right? I was willing to learn how to trade, literally learn for 8 years, because the gentleman that I saw grow $40,000 to $1.6 million in 12 hours had been learning to trade for 8 years off of YouTube. I said, well, shoot, if he can learn off of YouTube, shoot, I can learn this in 8 years. I'll still be under 40. That's how I looked at it. I compared it to other people who I know are 65 and 70 years old who are obligated to work. They have no choice. I said, I'm still saving myself 40, 50, 60, 70, at least 40, 30, 40 years of working. Why is the retirement age 65 years old or 70, whatever it is, it's so old? Why do I have to spend my entire life doing something I don't want to do, and I have to wait for the last 5 years of my life to live my best life? That is absolutely insane to me. What in the world have they created? I have to work for 65 years before you telling me I can take these chains off. That's what you're telling me? And I'm not talking to people who love what they do. I'm talking to people who are just living to make a living, to make sure they eat, to make sure they have clothes and shelter and food, right? You have to have courageous patience, ladies and gentlemen. This is the ability to hang in there and continue working and fighting after you have gone all in and before you see any results, before you see any rewards. You got to muster up the courage to take action. Courageous patience. Aggressive patience, right? You got to go all in without any guarantee of success. And you got to have something called staying power. What if the battery, we was to read the battery of your staying power, what does it say? We ain't talking about no Energizer Bunny batteries. We talking about staying power. Staying power. Ain't no, you ain't getting jump started. What's that car jump? You're not getting that either. You're not getting plugged into a wall. What is your staying power? No shortcuts. Okay, you have to deal with your fear directly, head on. Remind yourself that denial, um, you have to remind yourself that denial is not the river of Egypt. Okay, sorry, it was a little corny joke. Anyway, you can't be afraid of confronting it. Major source of stress and unhappiness and psychosomatic illnesses and health and different things of that nature becomes from people worrying and being scared to death. And it's unfortunate because it's nothing but trained thinking. It's all been digested in every single person. If you possess fear, I want you to know you have become a host of something you've been trained to think. If you have fear inside of you, fear resides in you, you have become a host. I don't know if y'all seen what that movie is, Men in Black, and he had that little thing inside of him, or the Alien when they had a little thing sitting inside of them. That's what y'all walk around here looking like. You got this little oil sitting inside of you, these little aliens, whatever you want to, whatever object you want to identify with. It's become a host. So when you get some time, I want you to look at yourself in the mirror. I want you to grab a sheet of paper, and I want you to say, am I really living my life, or am I deterred away from living my life? Am I really living my life? Am I really making decisions for myself? Or am I being deflected every single time? Is fear deflecting me? That's how people are being controlled. They don't even realize they're being deflected every single time. Like a little fly, just a little speck. You got a little crumb on your shirt, you got to flick it off. That's what fear is doing to everybody. Every time you get excited and you want to do something, or you have the desire, it's ridiculous how many people want to get out here and do things, but they scared of what somebody gonna think. Oh man, they might not think that's cool. I don't give a flying fish what y'all think. What are you saying? You got to deal with it directly, okay? The companion of fear is worry. A lot of people don't realize y'all worry about so much stuff and it never happens. We worry about so much stuff and it never happens. So your disaster report for tonight, you grab your sheet of paper and I want you to write at the top, the disaster report. Coming to you live on Fox, GW channel, whatever, the Generational Wealth Channel Network, the disaster report. Whenever you are worried about something, I want you to fill out this report, okay? And it basically will destroy the fear, and basically almost the fear and the worry will pretty much go away instantly, okay? This is often called the worry buster, okay? The worry buster. The disaster report has 4 parts. Now, the first part, you have to define the worry situation clearly. What does that mean? You have to define the worry situation. What does that mean? What exactly are you worried about? Define the situation and define what you're worried about. What are you worried about? I want you to write it all out. Get it out your system. This can be in every area of life. You can put your area in categories: health, finance, self-image, self-love, the goals and the desires that you want to do, your passions, everything what is it that you want, Drew? What is it that you want, Taj? What is it that you want, Key? What is it that you want, V? What is it you want, Leah? What is it you want, B? Taj, everybody, what is it that you want? When you write it down, I don't want you to think about nobody. I don't want you to think about your kids. I don't want you to think about your wife. I don't want you to think about your husband, boyfriend. I don't want you to think about your parents. I don't want you to think about your job, your best friends. I want you to literally eliminate every single person in your mind. And I want you to look for you, because you are beneath all of the voices that are in the way. You are beneath all of the fears that are in the way. So I want you to peel back all the voices, peel back all the faces, peel back all of these things that are clouding you. What is it that you want? Okay, write it down. Then write down, what are you worried about? Clear of the worry of every situation so you can resolve the situation and so it can become immediately evident. Okay, what is it that you want? Identify, what are you worried about? What are you worried about? Okay, then you got to identify the worst possible thing that can happen. That's a lot of times when I speak to people about the education. well, I don't really know, this, I don't know. It just doesn't sound like, it's just too good to be true. I said, listen, the worst thing that can happen is you become uneducated. That's it. The worst thing that can happen is you never learn how to trade and you stay on your job. Worst case scenario, you do what you already doing. That's what I tell people. Well, what are the risks? The risk is you not even trying. That's the risk. The risk is you staying where you at. That's a loss. My loss is me staying somewhere I don't want to be. That's the biggest risk of all. Staying put. So if you ever had somebody say, what's the risk? You staying put. What's the reward? Watch me. You'll see. Consistency pays off. Second, you have to identify the worst thing that can happen if this worry situation were to take place. What's worst case scenario? Would you lose your job? Would you lose your relationships? Would you lose money? Would you, what's the worst thing that can happen? Be clear about all of it, okay? And a lot of times you'll see that the worst things that will occur won't ruin your freaking life. A lot of times you will see, when you identify what's the worst thing can happen, you will notice that a lot of times they aren't anything dramatic and drastic. They really don't affect or ruin you. Okay, they might be inconvenient, they may be short term and uncomfortable, but you're gonna get over it. You'll be all right. It's really not even worth your worry. It's not worth your time. It's not worth your thinking. Stop giving fear, stop clocking into fear. Clock into your faith. Stop clocking into fear and clock into your faith. Why are you worrying why you can never go nowhere? Because you clocking into the wrong kind of picking job. Why aren't you giving a raise? Because you're still clocking into fear. Why are you still suffering? Because you're still clocked into fear. Why are you still behind on your bills? Because you're still clocking into fear. Fear of knowledge, fear of expansion. You clocking into ignorance, unhealthy eating habits. You clocking into doubts and limitations and drama and gossip and violence. What are you clocking into? It's your choice. That's the biggest thing is people don't realize they have possession of their mind. It's almost like we have a car and our minds are a car, but we are allowing fear to be in the driver's seat. And all we're doing is sitting in the back seat, hoping that it drives us to our destination. Woo-hoo-hoo! Everybody has a model. What kind of car are you? What's your car? But guess what? Who's sitting in the driver's seat and who's sitting in the passenger seat? And you hoping and praying that fear guides you to your destination. But all the while, fear is just driving you to the same fear-based factory, and you clock in and out every single day. Fear-based factory. That's what y'all clocking into. That should be on your W-2, on your taxes. Fear-based factory. Right? Clocking in and out every single year. 2019, 2020, 2021. You've been clocking into the fear-based factory for 5 years. And what happened for Vestavia Light? Well, she said, you know what? I'm tired of going to this factory. I'm going to give the faith-based factory a shot. What started happening? Prosperity. What started happening? Debt release. What started happening? Residual income. What started happening? Personal development. What started happening? Speaking in front of the room and holding the market. What started happening? Firing her boss. What started happening? Traveling, free life, 1099 lifestyle. What started happening? She never went back to the fear-based factory. My goodness. You have to resolve to accept the worst possible outcome. If it occurs, you have to have the resolve to accept the worst possible outcome. Say to yourself, well, listen, if this happens, it's not going to kill me. If this happens, it won't kill me, right? I will find a way to get along. That's what I did. When I joined Our Markets Live, I said, worst case scenario, my lights get cut out. I can put some candles on because I had heat. I had a gas and electric. So worst case scenario, these lights get cut off. I just go stay at my mama crib for a couple of days. At the end of the day, that's worst case scenario. What can happen? I can go hustle up some more money, or I can wait till I can get the money to cut them bills back on. I am not worried about these freaking bills. Why is being behind no bills so common? Why is debt so common? Why is student loan debt so common? Have we all not caught on to the cycle yet? It's absolutely ridiculous. Why is poor thinking so common? Why is vanity slave so common? Why is all that so common? Because you're clocking into the wrong factory. Your TV is set on the wrong channel. And you wonder why you still looking like the exact same person you did 10 years ago. It is the scariest thing to me to sit there and run into somebody at a grocery store or at the airport, and they'll be like, what you been up to? Shoot, the same thing, man. You know, I'm still at the job. I'm still with the guy. What were you saying to me? So you decided to stop moving and growing for 10 years? That is ridiculous. You decided to leave that car in the front of your house collecting dust and never turning on the engine for 10 years. So your fear base, your little fear driver ain't even driving no more. They decided to fall asleep in the parking lot in the house and never move for the rest of their life. You got to rise out of your own self, guys. The only thing that's holding you back is your thinking. That's why you have to do the 10 pages a day. We didn't create the 21 days of growth just to make it sound good. Guys, it's real. It's real. I remember Latasha Tate one time said, she said, B, you know, all this reading got me not even wanting to talk to some people because I'm starting to realize what people talk, what they're saying. I told y'all a couple of weeks ago, I said, people have to be qualified to have a conversation with you. People have to qualify to be in your conversation. Don't come over here talking to me. I went out to the spot in Atlanta called the U-Bar last Friday at 1 o'clock in the morning. I knew I didn't want to go, but because I had to make my friend happy, I was like, I'll come. But guess what? I didn't want to be there. I already knew I didn't want to go because what was going to be around? Ignorance, cussing, drinking. Yeah, I curse here now. Don't get me wrong. I'm working on it. But it was so saturated. And I was so sober, and I was looking around, and I was like, I don't do this no more. I used to be in this place 7 years ago, drunk, hanging out, falling asleep in the car in the park. This ignorant stuff, just lit, young and wild, right? But now I know better. I'm just looking around like, dang, these people finna go home, risking their lives. So they finna be drunk as all get out, driving home. These people in here was excited. They couldn't wait for Friday to do what? Come in here and get effed up and not remember the night? Guys, don't get me wrong. Your girl used to get lit, okay? And I could get lit every once in a while. But what I'm saying is don't stay stuck in a place that you never remember you went. Don't stay stuck in a place that you never remember that you went. A lot of people don't even realize they're stuck in a place that they go to every single day. They know that they're moving. Don't confuse movement for productivity. Do not confuse movement for productivity. What's the difference? A six-figure trader, every single day, an hour a day minimum, charting, placing trades on IML TV, out of the chats, pop in, pop out. Hey, how you doing? Hey, congratulations, welcome. That's it. A chairman sharing the video at least 4 to 6 times a week, talking to at least 2 people a day. Over time, it compounds. You want your clothing line, you want your business, you want your production, you want your screenplays, right? What is it that you want? Are you writing every day? Are you creating every day? Or are you talking and just doing movement? Writing a list is just movement. Making the call is the productivity. Reading the book is just movement. Studying it and applying it is the productivity. Listening to IML TV is the movement. Taking notes and retention is the productivity. You got to know the difference. Okay, you got to know the difference. Buying a calendar and writing in it is just the movement. Following the calendar and setting alarms is the productivity. You got to know the difference. Okay, So when you're facing these fears and you're wondering why in the world you are still stuck in the same place, the sunken place, you have not identified the worst things that can happen because if you act upon this decision, you haven't identified what's the worst thing that could happen, and you haven't accepted that if it does happen, that you will be okay. And you have to begin immediately to improve on the worst. Take every step that you possibly can to make sure that the worst possible outcome does not occur. Listen, take every step that you possibly can to ensure that the worst outcome does not happen. If you take action immediately, if you do something, just get on with it. Start acting quickly so you can start course correcting, all right, along the way. All right. The real antidote, ladies and gentlemen, is just the only real cure for fear or worry is discipline, purposeful action, intentional action, planning in the direction of your goals. The real cure to fear and worry. Face it head on. Be disciplined, take action, be intentional, and be purposeful. Don't just be doing movement, but be productive. Get so busy working on your goals or the solutions to your problems that you have no time to be afraid. You have no time to think and ponder. You have no time to worry. There's no opportunity for it even to enter your mindset because you be so busy, right? How many of y'all been so busy at work you didn't realize how much time went by? That's how you have to be on your own goals. It's hard being an entrepreneur because for a lot of people, because they don't have the initiative. They don't have the discipline. They use the day you can stop making excuses is the day you will succeed. Boom. The day you no longer have excuses, the day you no longer have reason is the day you will start seeing success. I promise you, when I made a decision, life has been up ever since. Even when it came down to me saying, I was like, I haven't called anybody. I want to see what making calls look like. What I do? I said, you know what? That's an excuse. I'm going to start making calls. And if I look goofy, if I sound goofy, so be it. Guess what? It was a phenomenal. It was a beautiful experience. I had no problems. I'm just a perfectionist sometimes. I'd be like, I just want to know so I don't have to worry about making no mistakes. But what's the fun in that, B. Burrell? What's the fun in not getting trained through trial and error? What's the fun and it's the same thing with trading. I had to check myself. Well, with trading, I have to fail. I have to make mistakes. I have to blow accounts. I have to get greedy to understand I got to stop doing it. So why not just be the person to initiate? Why can't you be the beginning? Why you got to be waiting on somebody? Be the beginning. Be the Genesis. Right? Be the Genesis. So you can start creating everything around you. Woo-hoo-hoo. Be the Genesis. All right? When you practice the self-discipline of courage and you force your face to endure all the fear-inducing situations, your self-esteem is going to go up. You're going to get excited. Your self-respect is going to increase. Your senses are going to just be on fire. You're going to have the desire is going to continue to pull you forward. Even your personal pride is going to grow. Guess what? You eventually are going to reach the point in your life when you are no longer afraid of anything. Guys, it's a real thing. It's a real thing. Once you have developed the courage to step out on your faith, you must then develop the self-discipline of persistence. Okay? You must develop the self-discipline of persistence. So remember, your disaster report. Write down every single thing. Write down all your goals. Write down what can stop you and hold you back from the goals, what fears. What is the worst thing that can happen? You need to tell yourself the worst thing that can happen is you will be okay when it does happen. And you have to take disciplinary actions every single day to ensure that courage exceeds fear. And that your courage is so saturated in who you are because you work so hard day in and day out that fear can no longer show up because you don't have time to be thinking about why you're afraid. Because what? You need to be 100% dissatisfied, or you need to be 100% inspired to go where you want to go. Okay? Use the skill as a vehicle to get you to where you want to go. Use this referral program to get you where you want to go. Don't leave no money on the table. Get what's yours. Stop being a punk. Stop being scared. Get it out of your system. Remember, you can't be a believer with 1 foot on the devil end and 1 foot on God's end. The devil controls every single person from any level of fear. Fear of poverty, fear of poverty, fear of death, fear of anything, fear of job loss, fear of everything, failed relationships. The minute you are no longer controlled, you got to remember, you're not in control when you have fear. You got to remember that. That's the key to all this. You're not driving if your fear is driving you. You're in the back seat, allowing fear to direct you anywhere it decides to go that day. You're just going with the flow. Okay? So be strong, affirm. Where have your affirmations? I'm so happy and grateful. I am not fearful. I'm so happy and grateful. I am strong. I'm so happy and grateful. I'm consistent. I'm so happy and don't speak it because it sounds good. And guess what? When you start knowing things to be true, you no longer have to affirm it. I don't have to affirm I'm a chairman no more. I know I'm a chairman. I don't have to say it because it's true. Affirmations come from you trying to train yourself to now do new activities, to do new habits, to do new disciplines. All right. I'm so happy and grateful now that Taj is a P2000. I'm so happy and grateful now that Aaron Emanuel hit P1000 today, which he did, and he doesn't know it. I just told him just then. He probably doesn't even know it. Congratulations, Aaron. I'm so happy and grateful now, right? So guys, I don't know if you heard it, because I know sometimes it's busy. Aaron hit P2000 2 hours ago. I just haven't announced it yet. I mean, P1000, still same thing, P1000. He's the first of 50 families. Okay? And see what happens is when you affirm things, what I said, God will give you the blessing before you give it a deadline. Aaron said, I'm going to be P2000 by Saturday, B. I said, that's too long, bro. You need to hurry up and get it done. He still don't know. He probably ain't paying attention. Is he on the phone? Hey, where you at?
Didn't rub your back last night?
Aaron Emanuel. Look, he wasn't even paying attention.
You hear your name?
Aaron, I unmuted your line, bro. Look at that. We'll leave him over there in La La Land. So, Aaron Emanuel.
Yeah, you hear me?
Did you hear anything I just said in the past 2 minutes?
No, I did not.
Then look at that.
I ain't gonna lie. I'm not even gonna lie.
We ain't gonna tell you. You're gonna have to find out later.
That's okay. I'll figure it out.
Just check the chat.
Mm.
See there? The blessing done came. But you always have to be 100% aware of the present so you don't miss that it came. Now, in this instance, he ain't fair to none. He just probably over there working. But at the end of the day, guys, don't allow fear to drive you. Get your butt in your own driving seat. Sit in the seat of your mind. Sit in the seat of your mind. And every single thing that you desire will come to life. You get one chance at this life. I sat next to my grandmother in the hospice for 2 weeks. I watched what death looks like. I saw it, I touched it. I laid next to it every single day. You have to get out here and live your best life. Stop leaning on convenience. Stop leaning on the fact that you can have a place to lay your head. Stop leaning on someone else to pay your bills. Stop leaning on handouts. Stop leaning on the job. Stop leaning. Just stop leaning. Just stop leaning. And everything you want is yours. Stop being comfortable. One thing I say for my grandmother, she lived a fulfilled life. She said, God, I just want to live to 70. Please give me those years. Give me the 70. She lived to 75. Her mother died at 40 something. Her father died at 50 something. Nobody had lived past 50. She said, just give me the 70, God. She was a dreamer. She dreamed bigger than anybody that I know. She did every single thing that she said she was going to do. And I can say maybe I inherited it. I thank her for that. Every single thing I said I'm going to do, I'm going to do it, ladies and gentlemen. Can people trust your words? That's what you got to look. You got to question yourself. If I was to tell you what I'm going to do, and then they was to take a survey on behind the scenes and say, I just told 100 people what it is that I'm going to do. 100 people that know me without a shadow of doubt. But how many of those 100 people believe only my words? They don't even have to see the actions yet because they know the action's coming. Can you literally wake up, have an idea, tell 100 people, we do a survey, how many of those people are going to say, oh, she's going to get it done. He's going to get it done. Or how many of those people are going to say, oh, she always say that. Take a survey on your life. Take a survey of your words. Whew. Take a survey of the words you speak. Do they have truth behind them? And once your words have truth behind them, that means they have faith behind them, which means they have desire, which means they have belief, which means they have action. It all is in alignment. I pray that you remove any fear-based thinking. I pray that you get everything you desire. I pray that there's no deadline on what it is that you want. I pray that you go out here and take your life seriously. Remember, what is it that you want? Remember, remove every single body, every thought, maybe this, don't think about none of that. I want you to write nakedly, okay? I want you to write just naked. Nobody's over you. Nobody's in your mind. It's what you want. It's your life. It's your turn. It's your chance. 2019, we're winning 50 families. We got our first 50 family. Maybe he's paying attention right now. We got our first 50 family, $1,000 a month has been achieved by Aaron Emanuel, and he didn't even know it, okay? So the flyer will be coming, and let's go. We got 49 more families to go. I got 2 loading. Actually, we got 2 more that's loading already. 1, 2, 3. We got 2 or 3 that's loading right now. Not far at all. 50 families by September 13th, guys. Everybody that sent me all in and done the 5 check boxes, guys, you got to be walking across the stage in Dallas, Texas as minimum of P1000. Minimum. And we're coming out with some trader certificates too, so you guys get ready for that. Key Rich is working on that. We got trading certificates coming too, so y'all better get ready. We got sauce. All right, now I'm going to drop the 50 families flyer. We have that. We have the 50 families animation comment is actually pretty much complete. I'm just waiting on her to update the sounds on it. We got to brand this. I'm doing a Facebook Live tomorrow night at 8:15 Eastern time. Put your guest on the line. My Facebook is at Beberell2, Beberell number 2. All right. If you're Facebook friends with me, it's Beberell2. Invite your friends, invite your family. I'm going to show the 40/40 Club. I'm going to show the 40/40 chat. I'm going to show what copy and paste the signals look like, and I'm going to do a quick prezzo. That's it. So people can know, listen, while you sitting around allowing your fear-based factory that you keep clocking into to keep you away from this financial freedom, let me just put it in your face. And that still doesn't mean it's going to resonate, but I'm going to just keep dropping juice on them. Some people you got to keep dripping on until they just click, all right? Got to keep knocking on that head till they let you in. Okay, Aaron Emanuel, congratulations. You hit P1000 2 hours ago, bro. Let's see if you heard anything yet. He missed it again, y'all.
Now he got it that time.
How you know?
He put it in the chat.
I see he got a hand on his face. Like that was from the last thing. I ain't got nothing.
Oh.
He missed it again.
Lord have mercy.
You know what? We're going to have to pass the torch to somebody else. Hey. Let me stop this recording.